Hello, I'm Murray Newlands with Search Engine Journal, here in San Francisco with Arjun, who is CEO and founder of Retargeting. In this video, we're going to be talking about mobile marketing strategies with an example of how to target the iPad. So Arjun, tell me more about that.
Yeah. So one of the things that we can do in the real-time bidded display environment these days is target devices specifically. So in the past, you were able to target kind of the entire open web, but what's possible now is you can actually target down to the device level. And one of those targeting capabilities is targeting the iPad or another type of tablet specifically.
Why is that so important?
I think that's so important because the iPad users are a select audience that's really valuable to be able to target specifically. They're typically high net worth individuals. They are technology savvy and live in particular regions in the United States. And so there's a lot of information that you can garner from the audience that uses the iPads, in addition to the fact that you know the form factor and you know the fact that you can drive them towards either sites or to download applications.
And for example, they might be more likely to be actually shopping to buy rather than just browsing, which is something you're more likely to do on a phone. Is that? That's
exactly right. So on the iPad, you know it as a shopping device primarily, and people are actually using it as a means to shop while they're maybe watching TV or hanging out at bed. So it's a good way to get in front of folks.
So do you have an example of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the campaigns we ran in the past was with a company called Page Once, which is now called Check. But Page Once basically ran a iPad targeted campaign specifically focused on driving users to download their iPad application, which is a really strong kind of financial services Mint-like application with some more additional functionality. And the goal was to get folks to download that application. And the CTR that we saw in that campaign was astronomical. It was almost 0.25%. It was 0.23%, and we ran over 400,000 impressions. So it was a really targeted, short campaign, but one that was able to drive a lot of clicks and ultimately conversions to the end user.
Where do you see the future of this going?
I think this continues to get more and more refined and more targeted. So I think the power of this is combining iPad targeting with other behavioral and or interest-based data that exists. So combining that with geo data or demographic plus behavioral data can get really interesting.
No, we're seeing the potential that the people are saying the cookie is going to go away. How are you going to cope with that?
Yeah, I don't really think the cookie's going away anytime soon. I think there's a lot of conversation about that, and I feel like every 6 months or every 12 months it kind of comes back into the news cycle. But really, so much of the internet is dependent on that as an underlying feature for how we do things that I don't see it going away anytime soon. I think it gets more advanced, more sophisticated. We continue to be able to track and target with more data that exists, of course, in a non-personally identifiable way. But I see it becoming more robust, not being taken away.
Fantastic. If people want to find out more information and connect with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, easiest way is arjun@retargeter.com. So ARJUN at retargeter.com. Happy to be helpful in any way.
Arjun, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I'm Murray Newlands with Search Engine Journal. I'll see you next time.